Marjorie Greene stood with the victims of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell and their unnamed accomplices earlier this week. And as predicted, she is being attacked by a lot of people for that. Many Republicans, many MAGA people for being on the correct side, for being consistent. For once in her life, she's being attacked. And so Brian Glenn, her boyfriend, put up this tweet, having done dinner with the sweetest woman on earth. And I'm not even gonna fact check that. I'm just gonna let that stand. So it's him and Marjorie Greene. And it's just like a, hey, I like my partner. There's nothing wrong with it or whatever. And so we can go now to the replies. Golden Choice says, sorry, Brian, MTG standing with Massie in the presser was a bad move. They did nothing. Why didn't they name names? It was a grift. That person seems to think that this is a part of the cover up, that like they stood with the victims, but they didn't go far enough. Most of the comments are not in that vein. Donnie MAGA Lovin' Jeeper says, boo, unfollowed you, Brian, and I'm so disappointed MTG. She's lost MAGA and looks like you have too. The Golden Age Times says, are you both talking about how much you secretly hate Trump? No, you're thinking of Tucker Carlson text messaging his coworkers about how he hates him and he's a destroyer. You know, the guy that you still probably like, not MTG, who loves Donald Trump and is not criticizing Trump. To be clear, she's pretending that he has nothing to do with the cover up, and yet she still gets attacked. Anyway, Brian Glenn goes on to defend her, as he's gonna do, it's his partner. And so anyway, says she stood up for sexually abused women, that's it. So you do you, bro. And that is basically it. She doesn't like that there was a sign that accused Trump of being a pedophile or whatever. I would just say to Colt, who Brian Glenn responded to, Colt, did you see Trump there? Like he could have been standing with the victim. Have you seen him ever meet with a victim? Have you seen him ever express empathy or compassion for the victims? Have you seen him badmouth Ghislaine Maxwell? Have you seen him tear the DOJ a new one for putting Ghislaine Maxwell in a minimum security prison and say, not on my watch, okay? Maximum security for elite sex predators. Did you see any of that? Now I get that like you're enraged by the cover up, and this is a convenient like stress relief valve for you to go off on Brian Glenn and Marjorie Greene, but they're not in charge of this. You know, they're not actually doing the cover up. That's your dude, Donald Trump. Maybe turn some of your attention to him. What do you think, Trey?
I mean, yeah, like I don't know how much more evidence they need that, like, you know, nobody is safe on that side if you're not 100% with Trump all the time. Like it doesn't matter how you can be arch conservative your entire life. You could be from an arch conservative dynasty like Liz Cheney and people like that. And then, but the moment you show any sort of, like backbone towards Trump or any sort of like disagreement even with Donald Trump at all, then that's it, you're out. And it doesn't matter what the context of it is. In Liz Cheney's case, it was, saying, hey, I think that like, coups and treason and stuff is bad. And people were like, she's out. And now with MTG, it's like, I think that like, sexual assault and the trafficking of minors and all this type of thing is bad. And they're like, you gotta go, because those two things both went against Donald Trump, who is the president, which is crazy to even think about. You know what I mean? Like to do it, having either of those opinions qualifies as defying the president openly and publicly, and everyone knows and understands that. It's just so bananas. So essentially, it's like the one thing you cannot do as a modern day Republican is just like be on the right side of anything ever. Even once. You can be on the wrong side of 99 out of 100 things. But if you're on the right side of anything ever, you can bet your ass Trump's going to be on the other side of it, and that's going to cost you. And that's what's happening with Marge right now. So
yeah, and Marge apparently missed the memo that whole thing about elite sex trafficking and QAnon and Epstein, that was when we thought it would take down Democrats.
Right.
It was like, oh my God, there's a silver bullet, we're gonna get them. Oh, we can't get them? Screw it, who cares about the kids? That's what, I'm not gonna say most of the MAGA voters, because based on the polls, they do want to get to the truth. But for their elected officials, it's 99% of them. For their media, it's 99.9% of them. Screw the kids, we don't care. Oh, literally, you can screw the kids and we will not care. This was just about getting Bill and, I don't know, Tom Hanks or whatever. If we can't get Chrissy Teigen, then I'm not interested anymore. That's effectively what's going on. That said, we've been talking about the survivors. So let's turn now to video of one.
I voted for Trump, and for him to say what he is saying is beyond me, because I put my hope in him and he's supposed to protect us. And for him to say that this is a joke and that it's sides, this is not sides. We will say it time and time again. None of us are up there accusing him of anything. There is no one that is accusing him of any wrongdoing. So for the fact that he is saying those things and saying it's a hoax, who are you hiding for then? Because if it's not you, then who is it? And that scares me.
Yeah, and again, I mean, I think a lot of people are wondering that. A lot of those survivors are wondering that. And I know Thomas Massie has come out with the first name, John Paulson, who is a big donor, who's been attacking Massie and is a huge donor to Donald Trump. He apparently was in the Black Book, so maybe John Paulson is who he's covering for. Or maybe John Paulson is just the first of 5 or 20 or 200 people that he's covering for. Or in fact, perhaps Donald Trump's name is in the files hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times because of something else, I don't know. But that woman voted for Trump and came out and has got to have been wondering for months now, why won't Donald Trump meet with us? Like I voted for him, I'm a Republican. Several of those women apparently are Republicans. And what do they get from Donald Trump? News reports, Daily Beast, he'd been bad-mouthing the victims as just Democrats. Because I guess it doesn't matter. I guess that if the elites are sex trafficking Democrats, then who the hell cares, I suppose. But either way, some of them aren't even Democrats. And what does he do after that interview? It's more insult to injury. I'm not gonna read this entire message, but he put up this absolutely massive message. And I hope that Marjorie Greene is reading this, because she believes that Donald Trump doesn't know anything about what's going on with this case. And it's just his advisors that are leading him down a bad path. No, he is posting diatribes, novellas, attacking the victims. And so he does it here. He says, the Democrats, they didn't care about Epstein. They were just, where is it? They were just befriending him, socializing with him. You know, the Democrats who were friends with Epstein, not Trump, who was his literal best friend for like 25 years. It's all the Democrats that are friends with him. So anyway, they're just pretending to care. They don't care. Their polling's bad. Our polling's good, whatever. It's a hoax. Screw them. But then the most important part is this. Once you get past all of the brain rot and all that, the Department of Justice has done its job. They've given everything requested of them. It's time to end the Democrat Epstein hoax and give the Republicans credit for the great, even legendary job they're doing. Make America great again. So they're done. The DOJ's done. Shut up, survivors of Epstein. We've given you everything you've asked for, except for all of the things that you've asked for. I mean, so this thing blew up when he had Pam Bondi come out and be like, we're not investigating this anymore. And since then, we've asked for the client list, the documents. We haven't gotten the client list. The documents, all they've released is stuff that was already publicly available. No new documents have been released. We find out that there's like 3 minutes of video that was edited out of the prison video. We've seen literally none of that. And you don't get to see it, okay? Donald Trump's never met with the victims. The only action they took is they sent Trump's longtime personal lawyer down to have a private meeting with Ghislaine Maxwell, apparently ensure that she's not gonna badmouth him, and then give her the reward of moving to a minimum security prison. And that is a good, even legendary job. So get off their back. What more do you want? And if you're a survivor, if you're a MAGA person that cares about this story, he is spitting in your face over and over and over again, begging you to just shut the hell up, give up. This is a cover up, and it's like annoying to have to continue it for months. Just let the cover up succeed. And I worry that like even people who really do care, Trey, can only hold out for so long. What do you think's gonna happen?
I mean, I hate to say this, but I think that you're right. I mean, that's why he's doing it. It's always worked before. Like things just come up and people get mad for a second. And now typically like his people haven't gotten mad until this is like the first time that's ever happened. But still, you just hold the line, you keep doing a bunch of other crazy, stupid stuff. And eventually like people, even no matter how much they want to care, they can't. Again, I just to go back to January 6th, that's crazy that happened and that nothing ever came of it. But that was years ago. And it's like, we just all sort of, it just moved on. And it's like, he's definitely assuming that that'll happen in this instance too. And I hate to say this, but I think that it probably will. It's like you said, people can only sort of hold it. It's already kind of starting to happen. It's popped back up more this week because of the victims and testifying and that stuff. But like, it was already like starting to fade. And it just feels like you're being, just like with January 6th, feels like you're being like gaslit by this country or whatever, or gaslit by America or these people every day, because it's just so obviously a cover up. It's so obviously off. Like again, Marjorie Taylor Greene, she believes he doesn't understand what's going on. He doesn't really know about any of this, whatever. But it's like you said, he was his best friend. There are pictures and video that everyone has seen, spanning decades, and it's just like, I mean, it just makes you feel like you're going crazy. Like I don't know, I cannot believe that this is actually what this country has come to. This is how things operate. Because when I was growing up, again, gets brought up all the time, but it's true. Howard Dean's political career got ruined because he made like a girly woo sound at a rally once. And then everybody was like, you can't get out of here. You can't be in politics at that level if you're going to make stupid sounds like that. And that was it. And now from that to that was like, what, 20 years ago? From that to this in 20 years, it's like, just crazy.
I can't believe that was 20 years ago. Goddamn, I'm old. But yeah, no, you're totally right. And meanwhile, you're totally January 6th can happen. Nobody cares. It's just like, whatever. You did a coup. I don't like he in the middle of like a devastating pandemic where thousands of Americans are dying every day. He's like, stop the testing. Nothing happened I guess he lost re-election, but then they brought him back in. Yeah, no, it's all maddening. And by the way, it might be, and I'll close on this, that we've got a day, a week, a month left of talking about this, and that's it. And no matter how much we cover it, we can't get to justice. What I do think we can get to, though, is that clearly this bothers him. Clearly it annoys him and might have some effect on his blood pressure. And I think that's where we need to press, because I don't think there's a lot of margin for error there in his cardiovascular system. So maybe we can get this thing done if we can just anger him for a couple more days. That's where my hopes are lying.